Allez bonjour. Donc aujourd'hui nouveau jeu qui est un nouveau jeu Sherlock Holmes depuis le temps que je voulais m'en faire un. Enfin un autre du coup. Celui-là c'est Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. Au départ je voulais me faire Sherlock Holmes contre Jack l'Éventreur, mais à chaque fois que je lance le jeu ça me lag complètement le stream, je sais pas pourquoi. Faut que je vois comment régler ça, mais en attendant j'ai celui-là. Donc c'est parti. Nouvelle partie. Je ne comprends pas cette écriture. À la mémoire des sangs célestes d'Ukraine. D'accord. Oh là, cette intro. Inhibé. Peter le Noir. Bon alors moi attention parce que vu mon niveau mon niveau en énigmes et ce genre de choses, ça risque de promettre, surtout que s'il y a la possibilité de se gourer dans les suspects, on va bien rigoler. Ok.
Holmes, will you stop that?
Ah, c'est pas en français? Attends. Gameplay. Bah si, pourtant j'ai mis en français. Sous-titres, oui. Ah, ils ont pas de voix française dans ce jeu? C'est pourri. Gameplay. Comment jouer peut-être? Non. Bon.
You are utterly mad.
Oh, tu vas me dire en anglais ça passera peut-être mieux.
Stop, Holmes.
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate.
Marche éviter. Oh, putain.
Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me
From
a vase
Limoges.
collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Alors, je vais juste peut-être mettre les voix un peu plus fortes. Et mettre peut-être tout à 60. Alors, appuyez sur X pour ouvrir le carnet et vérifier votre avancée dans l'enquête. Alors, ça c'est la map. Donc, les tâches. Enquêter sur le meurtre de Peter. Inspecter les lieux. Choisir un costume dans notre armoire. Oh! Ok.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess! Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Ah, te plains pas, je te donne du boulot.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
Pas terrible la vue. Ah, merci.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Alors, la chambre, normalement, elle est là. Est-ce que je peux customiser mon Sherlock Holmes? Oh, je peux. Marin. Ouais. Informel. Tu peux te tourner. Ah, il peut pas se tourner. Complet usuel. Ah, c'est pas mal. Complet noir. Complet brun. Formel. En général, il porte des trucs sombres. Celui-là, j'aime bien. Votre costume ou des options de maquillage que celui-là ne sont pas encore disponibles. Ah. Oh. Chier. Ah, mais j'aime pas la chemise. Ah, pas mal. Il n'y a rien. Alors, la coiffeuse. Cheveux et chapeau, des lunettes. Non, ça j'aime pas. Ok, les lunettes c'est mort. Au niveau des barbes. Non. 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 La 6 peut être pas mal. Non. La 9. J'aime pas la moustache sur lui. Alors j'avais dit la 9. Ou la 6. Oh la 9, viens. Alors, cheveux et chapeau. Oh, quelle horreur. J'aime bien le gros chapeau. Moi. Ah bah, il est très bien comme ça. Chambre de Watson. Bon, il n'y a rien. Baker Street. Mansley. Ouais, on va aller là.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Observez attentivement pour trouver les détails remarquables que les autres ne savent pas voir. Empreinte de pas. Oh.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
D'accord. Donc si je vais dans preuve, on va trouver des empreintes de pas récentes. Merde. Ok, bon. Ah, objet requis. D'accord, d'accord, d'accord.
Mr. Holmes?
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream, but I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Alors, apparemment il y a des éléments sur elle. Camé. D'accord. Rosaire catholique, donc elle est croyante. Gants de jardinage. Mésange huppé. Nichoir. On va lui poser toutes les questions.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Pèlerinage, jardin, non. Il est pas terrible leur tuto. J'aurais dit pèlerinage. Alors, attends. Nanana, très catholique, oui, parti en pèlerinage à Compostelle, je me suis gouré de touche. Dans ses jeunes années. Bon, bah allez, hein.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Est-ce que je peux rentrer là-dedans? Non. Est-ce que ma vision du chat peut me faire voir des choses? Là-bas, c'est les empreintes de pas.
Mr. Holmes?
Bon, on va aller examiner le cadavre maintenant.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Mr. Holmes?
Alors, comment qu'il s'est fait
The
buter?
door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Ah, effectivement.
Hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Porte, serrure. Rayure.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Hmm. On peut pas courir, Sherlock Holmes. Non. Ah, si, il peut courir. Dis donc, ce serait pas toi par hasard?
Who could do such a thing?
Non.
My poor husband.
What a terrible way to die.
Empalé. Bon. Bah écoute. C'est des choses qui arrivent.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Passe-mi, contour dans la poussière. Ah ah.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps.
D'accord.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the Sea... Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Ok, on pourra les utiliser sur les traces de pas dans le
Navigation
jardin.
instruments, nothing interesting. Harpoons for hunting whales. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Donc ça c'est la victime, je suppose.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Déplacer et tourner les éléments pour constituer les associations aromatiques. Donc ça c'est une pipe, ok. Comme ça peut-être. Rien d'autre à prendre. Est-ce que j'aime pas ces trucs-là? puisse me mettre en haut et en bas. Ça va en bas ou... Ah non, ça va plus comme ça. Ah non, ok. Je pensais que je vais peut-être pas assez d'éléments. Ça commence bien. Hein. Là, ça marche pas là. Bon non. Parce qu'on est d'accord, là je dois faire un bateau. Bon bah on va passer parce que je comprends pas le truc.
Yes. This is a
Oh
coarse
c'était...
tobacco,
Mais c'était...
quite strong
Ouais
and very
d'accord.
popular among sailors.
Ouais je l'avais quoi.
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Alors avant de fouiller le cadavre... Ah. Carte.
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Alors le cadavre.
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
Aussi il l'a bu avec lui, ouais.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. These abbreviations mean something, but what? This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Ok. Alors bon.
Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Certaines preuves utilisables dans l'enquête sont indiquées par des icônes spécifiques. Ok. À utiliser, donc ça ce sera dans le jardin. Ok.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
These boots don't match the footprints.
Donc c'est pas du 42. On va retourner aller voir la femme.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Ouais. Voir dans la cabane s'il y a autre chose.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Alors, là c'est les déductions. Relier deux indices pour formuler une déduction. Le rouge indique une combinaison impossible. Julie Carré affirme que c'était son mari qui entretenait le jardin. Je suis sceptique. Peter Carré avait arrêté de fumer il y a quelque temps. Il est possible, cela dit, qu'il ait gardé sa blague à tabac. Sa femme l'a jamais vu, mais avait interdiction d'entrer dans la cabane. Il s'est fait perforer de part en part par un apprenti qui l'a collé au mur. Disparition d'une boîte. Peut-être ça ayant pas allé au mur. Non. Tentative d'effraction. Non plus. Bon, je vais tous les faire, hein, et puis. Ah oui, il y a le calepin aussi. Calepin. Non plus. Bon. Ok. Carré qui fume pas, on s'en fout. C'est peut-être encore trop tôt. quelque chose et que j'ai pas vu. Étagère, je l'ai vu.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Non, bon, alors c'est bien dans les déductions. Alors. Ok. Je vais les relire. Alors, disparition d'une boîte en étain. Il y avait une boîte en étain dans la cabane, guère plus grande qu'un livre. La boîte. Et la tentative d'effraction. Non. Alors, construisez le scénario du crime à l'aide des... Ok. Tâche embuscade. Il faut tendre une embuscade ce soir au cas où la terre des tentatives d'effraction reviendrait.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Ouais, bah ah oui, en fait, le propriétaire du carnet, en fait. Enfin, du calepin. Est-ce qu'il y a autre chose? Ok.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Non. Ok. Est-ce qu'il faut aller prévenir la femme?
Mr. Holmes?
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
D'accord.
Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there! All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Oui, quand même, hein. Qu'on l'interroge. Carnet. Alors, sur ce petit con, on a... On a déjà son calepin. Où est-ce qu'il est? Ah oui, il est là. Et il me semble que c'était bien ses initiales.
Mr. Holmes?
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Je vais aller d'abord dans la salle des preuves.
Mr. Holmes?
Evidence room.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Alors,
The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
de R. Dawson à mon ami et partenaire, 1883.
And partner, 1883. To my friend, from R. Dawson. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
Alors du coup, interroger le suspect, je peux faire que ça. morgue. Ça c'est quoi? L'estrade.
Locked.
D'accord. Salut. Y a personne.
Mr. Holmes?
Alors, John. On va t'examiner. Chapeau élimé. Ok. Pièce qui doit pas être très riche. Tissu coûteux. Bah si en fait. Bouton élaboré. Il n'y a rien sur son pantalon, non. Manche courte. Callosité. Cicatrice. Couf. Alors.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
Alors, attends. Attends, je vais me refaire vite fait le dialogue. Oh putain. C'est chiant les cachettes avec cette manette. Non, le dialogue c'est là. Alors, l'anneau de valeur en votre possession à qui il appartient. Je n'ai rien volé, il m'a toujours appartenu.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Merde, non. Je vais savoir, pense que oui, non, je voulais pas.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Fais voir son profil. Alors, il a grandi dans une famille aisée, qui a tout perdu à la désertion de son père. Il gagne sa vie en vidant des poissons, il reste très malade.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
Alors. Enchaînement rapide. Était armé de son couteau mais n'a pas eu le temps de s'en servir. Le meurtrier a agi rapidement et instinctivement. Car il ne fume pas. Parler au mur. Ouais. Nous devons déterminer si un homme sans expérience ni aptitude particulière est capable de traverser une cible de part en part avec un harpon.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Est-ce qu'il y a encore des déductions? Ah, il y en a encore une, ouais. Tentative d'effraction visait à récupérer le calepin qui baignait dans le sang des victimes. L'auteur de ces tentatives pourrait bien être le meurtrier. Watson.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible, but if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Eh ben, super. Alors, la boucherie.
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Ah, d'accord. Bon, on va en prendre un. Déduction, est-ce qu'il y en a encore?
should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Est-ce que je peux aller revoir la dame s'il y a des trucs à lui demander?
Hook.
Non. Alors. Ok.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Ok. La vache.
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw.
Ouais. Ça compte?
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Pauvre Watson. Alors, force surhumaine. Il faut une force bien supérieure au commun des mortels pour perforer un homme de part en part et le clouer au mur avec un harpon. Sans doute aussi une certaine expérience, voire les efforts cumulés de 2 hommes. Coup de chance, il existe une infime possibilité qu'un homme sans expérience d'aptitude particulière ait réussi à empaler Peter Carey au mur avec au harpon. Alors attends, il y en a peut-être d'autres. Non. Non, ok. Alors je partirai plus sur la force surhumaine. Voir les efforts cumulés de 2 hommes. Je partirai plus sur la force surhumaine. Consulter, ah oui, consulter les archives, donc il faut que j'aille chez moi.
That is not the one I need.
Ah, c'est dans... Ok. Alors j'ai les journaux, les encyclopédies, architecture, économie non, technologie non, histoire. Médecine non, botanique non, ça doit pas être là. Là. Alors, faillite du fonds d'investissement Dawson Nelligan. Nelligan introuvable. Le fonds d'investissement Dawson Nelligan, institution bancaire originaire des Cornouailles, s'est déclaré en faillite suite à de lourdes pertes de son portefeuille de prêts. Il sera par conséquent procédé à sa liquidation. C'est la 23e plus grande banque de Grande-Bretagne et la deuxième plus importante faillite de l'histoire. Pour bon nombre de familles des Cornouailles, les liquidations de la société est une catastrophe pure et simple. Joshua Nelligan, l'un des banquiers, a mystérieusement disparu. Il a été vu pour la dernière fois à bord de son voilier, se préparant à partir pour la Norvège. Monsieur Nelligan est recherché par la police pour ses créanciers.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
Alors, Scotland Yard.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Journal de bord permettra d'établir un lien. Cool.
(1883). That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Alors, Peter Carey, capitaine. capitaine.
This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Jonathan, Richoy.
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Pour Wiggins. Ok. On va aller voir Wiggins.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they are still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Eh bien. Oh, le chien!
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
Il est mignon.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Et Sherlock, il pourrait pas leur apprendre à lire,
Sorry
les
to
gamins?
trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Vu les services qui te rendent, tu pourrais leur apprendre à lire quand même. Qu'après, ce serait peut-être pas le meilleur des professeurs. Ou alors Watson. Watson leur apprend à lire.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, The constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
Allez, c'est bien, c'est bien. T'auras un petit biscuit. Alors.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Les potes.
Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5.
Et elles sont plus grandes. La lettre.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Alors, avant d'aller lui parler... Ah, je sais pas, on va tester les chaussures.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
Ok. Ça, c'est confirmé. Et ensuite, on va regarder la lettre.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Alors, donc le bleu, je suppose. Faut que j'en utilise 7. Donc, plus 3. Mais est-ce que, par exemple, le premier que j'utilise compte... Enfin, est-ce qu'il compte le dernier réactif bleu? Ou est-ce que il compte les deux? Bon, on va voir. On va voir. Donc du coup, le vert. Donc là je suis au 3e. Du coup là tu utilises le orange. Après le orange, l'incolore.
No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence.
Ah oui, non, le bleu
after
est pas
the blue
obligatoirement le
reagent.
premier. Ok.
Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Ok, là, ok. Je croyais que, je sais pas pourquoi je croyais que le bleu devait être forcément le premier, non. Alors si par exemple je mets... Enfin si, on remarque qu'il peut être le premier, parce que si je dois le mettre à la 3e place après... Enfin si je dois mettre le orange 3 places après le bleu... Parce que ça me ferait bleu. Par exemple, si en 7, je mets donc un incolore, le 6 serait en orange. Et le 3 serait bleu. Donc, je mets un bleu. Ensuite un vert. Ensuite un bleu. Donc là je peux mettre un orange. Là je peux utiliser l'incolore.
Done.
Voilà.
Now I can proceed further. Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery. I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
Alors, j'ai fait ce que vous m'aviez dit, j'étais bien caché, mais je vous implore de réfléchir en 2 fois. Yon, je suis, rappelez-vous nos vœux. Rappelez-nous nos vœux. Je sais pas pourquoi, ça, on dirait que c'est la destination de la femme. Ah oui, et puis j'ai aussi les journaux.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
A new suspect, but this one refuses to talk. This case is more interesting than I first imagined.
Bon, on va aller interroger le suspect. Alors. Ah merde. Ah, il est là.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
Bien. Alors, examinons ce tête de con. Bonne nuit cicatrice là. Mouchoir à mésange UP. Ah, comme un carnet sur le carnet de la vieille. Enfin de la vieille non, mais de la femme. Débris végétaux. Tiens. On serait pas allé dans un jardin toi? Main de jardinier. Alors.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Mensonge.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Jardinier.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
Ouais.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked, and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept, at Woodman's Lee.
On va aller parler à la petite dame, là. Parce que cette vieille peau m'a menti. Ça, j'aime pas. Woodman's Lee. Alors les outils, non, ça doit être la maison principale. Ça doit être là.
Locked.
Eh ben j'en connais une qui va avoir la clé, hein.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here.
Alors, il faut que j'utilise l'œil. Tiens. En plus, j'ai le droit à une musique flippante.
Let us see what is in this box.
Alors, ils ont mis ce qu'il fallait faire, mais j'ai tellement pas eu le temps de le lire. Faire tourner. Et ben voilà.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Mon très cher Liam, depuis notre rencontre, vous m'avez couvert de vos bontés. Je ne saurais évoquer mes sentiments, mais je les tiens pour sacrilèges et néfastes. Je crains que le pire n'arrive, je crains d'offenser Dieu. Je vous remercie de vos bons soins, mais je ne peux pas abandonner l'homme à qui j'ai été uni devant l'Éternel. Par sa volonté divine, mon époux est ma croix. Il fait de ma vie un enfer, il est nul, échymose. Il finit par s'estomper. De grâce, ne vous inquiétez pas pour moi. Donc tu m'as bien menti.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Alors, oula. Ensuite. Pas de jardinier et ensuite peut-être que la lettre non. Ok, ensuite voilà, non. Ok.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
Alors, marin, harponneur.
This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
Putain, mais il est côtière, Wiggins. Wiggins, pardon. Et bah du coup on va aller voir ce cher Patrick. Pas. Ah non, je vais essayer de réinterroger Liam. Si la blague à tabac appartient à Patrick, est-ce qu'il était présent? Ah oui, il faut encore le prouver.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
Ok, j'ai bien envie de reparler à...
I'm not saying another word.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Bon. Pickersite. C'est l'heure du costume. Alors, le marin, là.
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Bon alors, si vraiment on est un marin...
Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
Essayons d'être un minimum RP. Alors, où est-ce qu'il est? Il est là. Est-ce qu'il y a des choses dans ce pub avant? Il n'y a pas l'air.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Alors, observez le visage de Patrick pour comprendre ses actions. Pousser, bloquer, récupérer. Et agir en fonction. Surveillez votre endurance. Oh, putain. Bon. Ah non, 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 non. J'arrive pas à savoir quand est-ce que... quand est-ce que je dois bourrer. Un peu rematch.
That's the arm that killed 100 whales. Care to lose another 10 shillings?
Ah tiens. Boucle d'oreille en or. Habit bon marché. Bras puissants, ouais, j'ai vu ça. Ongles jaunis. Tatouage de marin.
I'm ready to try again. Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Bon, attends, je vais le laisser gagner parce que... Je sais pas si je peux le faire à l'infini.
That's the arm. I'm ready to try. Fine.
Mais est-ce que je dois bourrer? Ah, en fait. Je comprends rien. Bon, j'essaye une dernière fois, ça va pas, ça va pas. À moins que ce soit fait exprès, mais...
I'm ready to try.
Fine.
Ouais, tant pis.
I've had enough. You're too strong.
Come back later when you can use your arms again.
Ok.
I'm ready to...
Fine.
Voilà.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
I'm ready.
Fine. Well, good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner. Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. Old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger. We sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Bah si.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she had foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. And those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Ok. Ah.
Here it is. Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Ok, bon c'est con que j'ai pas réussi le mini-jeu là au bras de fer, mais je comprenais rien. Donc c'est pas grave. Kern a affirmé que la Black Tobacco lui appartenait, ce qui prouve qu'il était sur le lieu du meurtre. Déjà, on va se remettre correctement. C'était le 8, ouais. Titre de créance émis nanana, troisième journal. Est-ce que je peux aller réinterroger le petit? Alors, moi qui ai d'autres déductions. 10. Non. Alors, ça, je l'ai pas fait du coup. Flirt anodin. Nous avons eu confirmation que Liam flirtait avec la femme de Peter quand il était tombé amoureux. Toutefois, l'origine, ça a été tenu à de simples lettres et paroles d'affection. Liam est ici, espoir effrayant. Je sais pas. Ça. Les potes de Liam correspondent. C'est donc qui était sur les lieux. Ça c'est sûr qu'il était présent, mais... Et si je mets ça... Pour le moment on sait qu'il était présent. Alors si je mets flirt anodin, ça fait quoi? Relaisse donc un lien entretenir, lui donne un mobile, la présence d'Hurtley à Woodman. Je sais pas. Ah bah oui, non. Je sais pas.
What am I doing here?
I'm not saying another word.
Mr. Holmes?
Leave me alone, please.
Ouais. Bon, elle va pas nous servir à grand chose. Alors.
Dundee. Hammerfest. The tooth. This place is not... An object was taken from here. This place, an object was taken.
Titre, la créance est mis par les lettres. Ouais, mais je t'avais utilisé où en fait? peut-être chez moi. Baker Street.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
You met Patrick Cairns, the harpooner. Do you believe he's the murderer?
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. This is where I keep my post.
Bon. Là, je sais pas trop quoi faire avec ce truc.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected.
Ah, voilà. Alors, donc ce serait CPR.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
La boîte en état monnaie contenait des titres de créances précieux. Ouais. Il est possible que John ait été pris en train de voler les obligations, ce qui l'aurait poussé à tuer Peter. Ok. Non, je pense pas qu'il soit... Non. Lui, non, je pense pas. J'hésite entre deux. Parce que ouais, faut une putain de force pour l'avoir harponné. Mais pourquoi il l'aurait fait? Est-ce que si par exemple je mets ça avec ça. Alors, Peter a été tué par Patrick, harponneur professionnel. J'ai pas envie de faire de conneries en fait. Parce que je suis sûr que je vais en faire.
I'm not saying another.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
J'ai envie de lui parler une dernière fois.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belong to my family, but I could not find them there.
That's all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Ah là là, j'en sais rien. Putain. Ok. Physiquement et psychologiquement, ouais, il fait pas trop meurtrier, mais bon. Il serait de mèche, mais... Cherche de papier, signaler. Ouais, c'était ça en fait, il cherchait les documents de son père. Là, Heartley serait coupable. coup des deux meurtriers, je sais pas. Hein. Après, est-ce que Hurtley et Cairn auraient pu se mettre ensemble pour le meurtre? Je pense pas que lui soit coupable. Oh là là, j'en sais rien, j'ai pas envie de me gourer. Alors, plusieurs obligations qui avaient remporté le permis illégal ont été retrouvées, ok. Après, il n'y a rien qui peut... Enfin, je vois pas pourquoi lui, en fait, l'a tué.
I'm not saying...
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
Je peux pas retourner... Ah non, je peux pas retourner au bar en plus. Bon allez. Ils ont conspiré pour le tuer. Negan peut se venger du vol. Hartley est amoureux. Alors si je fais les autres conclusions. Ah, peut-être. Peut-être. Et la dernière, c'est celle-là. Putain, je sais rien. Allez. Je suis sûr que c'est pas du tout ça, mais...
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector. Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room. Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen
Je
this
me
man
suis grave
before.
planté.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
Je suis sûr que c'est pas du
You've
tout
got it
faux.
wrong. It isn't true.
Oh, putain.
That's right. I
Non,
confess.
c'est pas vrai.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
Je suis sûr que c'est...
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Je suis sûr que c'est complètement faux. Changer d'avis? Ouais. Je vais essayer toutes les autres conclusions. Ouais.
The case...
So
There are...
what? What?
This... I...
Now, gentlemen, we know everything.
Our association?
You needed to kill.
Ridiculous.
All that remains...
But I just told you.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Both are guilty, of course, but I believe that Hurtley was the initiator of the crime.
It's ridiculous. Why would I need the help of this weakling?
You wanted to be rid of the man who was terrorizing his wife, and who prevented the two of you from being together. Young Nelligan was just following his lead.
You are wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
You'll explain that to the judge.
Ouais, non.
The case is resolved, Inspector.
Very well.
Non. Ouais. Mais est-ce que si je trouve la bonne, est-ce qu'ils avouent? C'est toujours pareil. Là. Alors. Donc, conclusion. Là, on va faire que Hurtle. Passionnel. On va être condamné.
The case is so... It was...
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Liam Hurtley, you are formally accused of the murder of Peter Carey. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved.
Very well.
C'est de la merde. Je vais vraiment tout essayer juste pour voir s'il y en a un qui avoue en fait. Sinon si c'est juste un choix... enfin... Je sais pas s'il y a vraiment une bonne fin en fait. C'est ça que je veux savoir.
The case... It...
That...
He...
I...
Liam Hurtley, it was you who killed Black Peter. He learned of your relationship with his wife, and he asked that you meet him to share in a drink. Then began the quarrel. He drew his knife, and in self-defense, you took up the harpoon. Lestrade, please put that in your report.
I deny everything. You have no proof.
Calm down and thank your stars that Mr. Holmes just saved your neck.
The case is resolved in...
Very well, Mr.
Celui-là, ouais. Mais je veux voir comment ça se passe avec Patrick Kern. Alors, si je me condamnais.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Ah, il est costaud.
Lestrade, are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. He took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, he would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
But you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us. You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed.
Ok, alors on va voir le dernier. Est-ce qu'il se ferait chier à mettre ça alors qu'il n'est pas coupable? qu'après, c'est vrai que vu le harpon, et vu sa force, je sais pas, moi je vais voir comment ça se passe.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address. I'd like to speak with a ship's captain, a Captain Ahab. Is that you?
No, my name is Sherlock Holmes.
That detective fella? So, you wanted to see me?
That is correct. We need to talk.
About what?
About Black Peter, who was killed in his own hut with a harpoon.
You know, don't ya?
Yes,
How?
the tobacco pouch. You recognized it.
Oh, the sailor. It was you. Unbelievable.
Putain, c'était ça.
Well, fine.
C'était ça.
I'll confess. But if you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know. Did you know about this story with the bond certificates? Did you need money?
Yeah. I just wanted him to cough up a little silver. I'm out of work, and I thought maybe he could help me. Well, he refused outright, and he insulted me. I reminded him I knew all about that murder he committed at sea in 1883. Then he got mad when I spoke about his treasure. I barely just had time to throw the harpoon at him before he could jump at me with his knife. You know the truth. What will you do now?
I ask that you return the bond certificates. Keep some of them. You will need them in your exile. It is better that you leave the country for a few years.
And you won't say anything to the police?
I will not say anything as long as you return the money.
Well, I'll do as you ask. But what about Inspector Lestrade?
I will deal with him. Goodbye.
Bah voilà.
It's good that you asked me to come, Mr. Holmes. We do need to talk.
About what?
What do you mean? Our case, Mr. Holmes. You sent me a message via your little thug,
His name is Wiggins, Inspector.
telling me that the case is solved. Well, Mr. Holmes, tell me, who is our murderer and where is he?
The morgue.
Eh?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventral. He was also on the ship with Peter Carey, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do calm down. Mrs. Hudson will bring us tea and orange cake.
Orange cake? You're spoiling me, Mr. Holmes. That's my favourite.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here. I came as fast as I could. I cannot thank you enough. It is all because of you that this nightmare is finally over.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible! But how did you get them?
It would take far too long to explain.
Tell me. This is extraordinary. You are a genius.
Then that may serve as an explanation. Goodbye, Mr. Nelligan, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes. And thank you. 1,000 times thank you.
Yes. Bon, pour moi, c'est la plus logique des fins. L'autre, c'était un sac à merde. Enfin, il avait pas l'air très recommandable, donc écoute, ce sera pas une grosse perte. Mais je savais que le gamin, c'était pas un... Je savais que c'était pas le gamin. Après, c'est un petit peu triché que de pouvoir faire toutes les fins, parce qu'il suffit de trouver la bonne, mais bon. Je savais que ça jouait entre lui et Liam Hurtley. Donc, ouais, non, puis enfin, cette fin-là, au lieu de l'arrêter comme ça, il explique tout, il rend l'argent. Allez, on classe. Non. Votre éthique compréhensif, ouais.
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes. As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, certainly it sounds delightful.
But you haven't yet told me who your friend is. The one we're going to visit.
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth that I requested.
There is someone to see you, Mr. Holmes.
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes, I really think we ought to leave now.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. Holmes? Perhaps you don't remember me. I'm Dr. Watson. We met at the Diogenes Club a few years ago. I documented our encounter in a short story I gave the title The Greek Interpreter.
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and that is why he is so valuable to the government.
We're about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently threaten both our country and the Crown itself. You must help us with those methods of yours.
Need? Help? Those are not words I would readily associate with you, Mycroft.
I wrote you a letter, but you did not reply. And this is not about politics. It's about people. People similar to those whom you pretend to defend in your petty detective affairs.
Everything is about politics with you, Mycroft. I'm not interested. Have some of your agents, your spies, or worse, undertake this job of yours.
Ça parle mal.
You are defending your people, and they have little to do with the people I choose to help, I can assure you.
That is the point. You think exactly as they do.
Who are they?
The Merry Men. He is talking about the Merry Men, a band of idealistic terrorists.
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft, and you are not the country. Although if your waistline expands very much further...
Mrs.
Plaque sur les
Hudson,
gros.
tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, the train conductor, Mr. Parker, is aware that you will be 7 minutes late. You are in the 4th car. The train will be waiting for you. Sherlock, enjoy your time in Staffordshire. And do, please, at least write to me on your return.
Harpon. Oh, un souvenir, ouais, super. Ça, c'est quoi? Ok. Bon, bah moi du coup je vais m'arrêter là. Et puis je ferai peut-être une enquête par stream. Ou en tout cas celle-là, vu que c'était la première, le temps que je m'adapte au jeu, elle est peut-être un peu plus longue. On verra, si j'ai le temps d'en faire deux, j'en ferai deux, sinon ce sera une par stream. Allez, bah à la prochaine, salut!